Okay, so today we're going to be making bling bling text for our document. And since we have so much going on in our shoe document, I suggest that we make a new canvas to play with this on. And then if you like it, I will show you how you can move it over. So to make a new one, you go up to File, New. We're going to change this to pixels for right now. And we're going to do 800 by 400. 150 resolution RGB transparent. So go ahead and hit OK. If you want to make this screen bigger, go ahead and hit Control 0 and it fills your screen, whatever your screen may be. So over here in our layers panel, we're going to go ahead and click a new layer and go to our colors. If yours is not set to black and white, if you select or if you hit the letter D on your keyboard, it should take it to black and white. We're going to go up here to the paint bucket, which is underneath the gradient tool, if you have the gradient tool showing. And then we're just going to make a black background. Now we're going to go ahead and go to our text. We're going to create text. And when we do this, we're going to select a script or a font that's really big and fat. So, I don't know, let's see, we could probably do like Gill Sans Ultra Bold, but you can choose whichever one you want. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type in the word bling. Okay, it's not showing up. Hopefully you know why. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And we're going to switch this to white now. Now we can make it bling. And that's way too big. So you can do it several ways. One, you can go up here and you can just change this. You have to have it all selected though, because I've already clicked out of it. So we can change this. Or you can go here and hit Control T, and then you can make it whatever you would like. So go ahead and do that and just put it kind of in the center of this. We just did the black background so that you can see the contrast as we are going through this. To get rid of this box, this selection box, you're going to go ahead and hit Enter. And then over here in your layers bar, you should now have a layer called with a T for text and then called Bling. With that highlighted or selected, go ahead in and right click on it and go down to raster size type. This now takes this type layer and makes it a picture, so you can no longer click on it and change the spelling or the font or anything else at this point. Now, what we need to do is select all of this, and to select it, you go to the layer that now says Bling, and you have this little thumbnail in the beginning of it, and you hold down the Control key on your keyboard, and you put your cursor right here in this thumbnail and click. And now you can see I have all dancing ants all the way around anything that is on this layer. So if you ever need to just select something on a layer, you can do that. Go ahead and make sure this is selected to black and white. And then we're going to go to Filter, Render, and over to clouds. So now it puts clouds inside of your text. Go ahead and hit Control D to deselect. And then we're going to go to Filter again. We're going to go to Filter Gallery. And in the gallery, you have all of these different styles, types of filters you can do. But what we're going to use is we're going to use the Distort and the Glass. And then it should give you a nice basic diamond shape type stuff. So you're going to go over here in the tools to this, and you're going to leave the top one at glass. You're going to go here to where it says texture, and you're going to change it to tiny lens. And then you can take and you can play with this to see where you like, how much you want, how much little you want. So I'm going to go ahead and put mine someplace in this area and keep the smoothness to 0. And then you can also take and change this so you can have really big ones or really little ones. So you're going to go ahead and do that. When you're done coming up with it, go ahead and hit OK. So now you're going to go to Edit, Image, Adjustments. We're going to go to Curves. Curves is something that helps you change the coloring of this. So I want to make it a little brighter. So I'm going to take this, and if I move it over, see how it's making it brighter. So I'm going to move it over, maybe add a little bit of black. Kind of, oh, I don't like that. Kind of. You don't want it all the same color because it's supposed to be looking like it's reflecting something. So you can go ahead and play with that a little bit until you can find something that kind of looks pretty good. This will also give it some depth, so it doesn't look like it is 2D, it looks more 3D. Go ahead and click OK. And now we're going to go to Layer, or actually we're just going to do a blending. So we're going to go over here and double click on our layer, and we're going to start with stroke. So we're going to click on stroke, and you can double click on it so you get all of the presets. So we want it to make sure that it is on the outside. We want it to be, you can leave it at normal. Your fill type should be gradient. And then once you click gradient, you will get all of these different settings. We're going to go ahead and click the down arrow, and you'll click the one, it's called copper, and it's a gradient, and it's just kind of copper to white. And if you just click off of this, and then the other thing we're going to do is go here to the angle and put it somewhere like 106, 108. You can do it two ways. You can either take and rotate your thing, or the radius around, or you can click on it, highlight it, and put in a number. So you can have all of this, and I think all of the other settings will stay the same. So the next thing that we want to do is go to Bevel and Emboss. And once we do that, double click on it so you can see all of the stuff in here. We're going to go to Style. We're going to go to Stroke Emboss. And then we will make sure that the technique is smooth. And if you go down here under the shading part where it says gloss contour, click on this little down arrow, and these are all different ways or styles that things can be shown in the light. So we're going down here to, it's probably on the second row. For me, it's the second one. It's called Ring. You can just click out of that. You can leave all of these the same and the angle the same, but now you can go up here and you can play with the size. So you can kind of just make it around. You're just trying to give it a 3D kind of look. I don't know, maybe, and you can also put in numbers over here, just click and drag. So I think that I'll leave mine at about 10. And I think we're good here. So we're going to go ahead and click OK. So now you want to go to the adjustment layer. It should be here in your toolbar. If for any reason you ever get lost on your toolbar, you can always go to Window and you can find all of these here. You can also go to Window, Workspace, and then reset the workspace that you're in. So this one might look a little bit closer to what you were, but we're looking for the Adjustments panel. And in the Adjustments panel, we're going to go ahead and click Hue and Saturation. And then we're going to click Colorize. And you can see that it colorized the whole thing. And we don't want the whole thing. I'm only trying to do this on the actual border. So what we'll do next is we're going to, with this one selected, you're going to go ahead and say down here in the bottom, you'll say add a mask. So you should only have one mask when it's done. And then you're going to go here, we're going back to what we did before, and you're going to control and click on this thumbnail. So you see how we have all of this selected. Now click on the mask, the white part here. Click on it so it's the active selection and hit Control Backspace. So now you can see that it took all of that coloring off of the ones that you did. So we have that, but now we have it on the background. And you may or may not want to do this because it depends on if you're going to use it in your, well, no, I shouldn't say it that way. You may or may not want to take the coloring off the background depending on what you're going to use it for. So to get the coloring off the background, what you do is we're going to go here to the actual mask layer. We're going to hit Control and click on it. And so now you can see how the rest of it is selected. And then we're going to go to Edit, Fill, and we want to fill it with our background color, which is black. or you can also select a color if you wanted to, but for right now I'm doing the background color and I'm going to hit black. So now the rest of it is all that coloring is off of it. So this is now the only thing that this layer represents is this stroke. Okay, so here it gets a little tricky. Some things you might not have thought, and that's the cool thing about Photoshop is there's just always something to do. So we're going to hit Control D to deselect. Then we're going to go over here to the bling and we're going to hit Control here so that only the letters are selected. We're going to go to Type. Now we're going to go over here to Select, Modify, Expand, and we're going to expand it 10 because that was the size of our border. Hit OK. So now you can see that you're looking at just because you're on this layer, you're on your mask, and you have just that selected. You can then go ahead. We're going to change it from this copper color. We're going to change it more gold, or if you wanted to, you can go ahead and make it silver or whatever your preferences are. And so once you have done this, you're going to make sure you have this selected. And go ahead and go to your adjustments layer and make yourself another hue and adjustment. So now I can try to take and make it a goldish color. If you want to go more silver. So you're trying to make, you're going to be in the yellow someplace. And so you can go ahead and play with that, and you have this. Now, to get it to go to your shoe, you need to take and you have to have the top layer selected, hold down the Shift key to the bottom layer. Once you've done that, you can right-click and go to Merge Layers. So now it is just one layer. So you have one layer that does that. Okay, and I'm going to go back because I did something wrong. So we're going to hit Control Z, which will then take me back to here. And we're going to select the top layer and we're going to go down to the bling layer. I do not want to select my background layer for this because I only want the words. And once you've done that, you're going to right-click right on top of the layer, go to Merge Layers. Then you're going to go over here to your selection, so that your selection, you click, drag it up to your project name. See how my project name is there? And then we're going to bring it in here. And now if I hit Control T, I can make it bigger, smaller, do whatever it is that you would like to do with it.